Okay, so this is the final video that I'm making regarding the representations that are missing. This particular one covers a range of different areas. There were a few in each of these mixed areas, but not to put them all on one video. So I've kind of put them all together. And as you can see, some are in Pearton, others are in a range of different areas in any case. So Wyman, Little Wymondley, Western, Gravely, Claybush Road, Hitchin, so various places. So what I'm going to do now is click on every single individual one to find out whether or not they are now available for viewing. There's a total of 61 currently not available. So I'm going to go through each one. This is for the North Herts District Council's local plan examination in public for the period of 2011 to 2031. And the current date is the 18th of June, 2022. And my name's Caroline Cottier, and I've participated in the examination in public since the start. Okay, so Mr. K.R. Anderson, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it easier to view by zooming it, magnifying it by 135% so that we can see it a little bit better. That's better. All right, so Mr. K.R. Anderson, ID 13296. Okay, no results found. So not available. Mrs. S.E. Anderson, 5865. Nothing. Simon Andrews, 14893. Calla Holmes, 3. Which one appeared to be missing there? Right, okay. That's interesting because, well, let's open them and find out whether they open or not. Okay, so that downloads, which, right, we don't want to really download them all, do we? Oh, they're all PDFs. Okay, so that appears. Carla Holmes. It's odd. We won't say that it's his found because actually it's under a different name. I'll just put the wrong name. To Carla Holmes, not Simon Andrews. Okay, ID, yeah, not Simon Andrews. Right, okay, so that's still an issue. Okay, so S&M Armitage. All right, that appears to open. We'll take that and color it pink. Mr. MJ Barber. Okay, that appears to be typically not loading, so we'll leave that to do its thing and move on until it eventually loads the error message. MG Blaza 5891. Nothing. 5891. Mr. Peter Bracey 3421. Right, so it's the one that's 2019, supposedly the one that was the problem. Here's that still so. We'll look at the earlier one from Regulation 19, and that opens. So it's the 2019 one. Okay, carry on leaving them to load. Mr. Adrian Brown, 15683. First one, that's appearing not to load. Second one. All right, they both look like there's a problem with two of them. We'll just have to wait to confirm that. Ah, there were two. Yeah, okay, as expected. Mr. and Mrs. Lee and Christine Childs. Okay, so we've got the public error message, nothing available for document reference number 14727, who was named as being Mr. MJ Barber. And we've got nothing for 3421, Mr. Peter Bracey. All right, so we've got the error message for that one, and we've got another different error message, nothing for 15683, Mr. Adrian Brown. That was for the land of North Pound Farm. Okay, and that one's still doing loading. Mr. Peter F. Constable, 8914. Right, error public, nothing. 11592. Mr. and Mrs. Lee and Christine Childs. It's still loading. Mr. Jill Cox, sorry, Miss Jill Cox, 10212. Janet Denton, 13671. Mr. and Mrs. Roger and Sheila Eli. All right, we've got an error message loaded now for 8914. That's Mr. Peter F. Constable, who was in disagreement with Section 1, Introduction and Context. Mr. Morris Philby. All right, so we've got another message, nothing for 10212. That was Ms. Jill Cox, who was objecting against the land of north of former Norton School, Norton Road. Another error message for 3617. That was for Janet Denton, who was objecting to SP2 land between Hornhill and Bendish Lane, Whitwell. Another error message served for 2070. That was for Mr. and Mrs. Roger and Sheila Eli. And that was for policy, that was an objection against policy HS1, local housing allocations. And we have another error, no access message for 145818. And that's for Mr. Morris Philby, who was objecting against policy SP17, site HT1, Highover Farm Hitching, as well as HS2, affordable housing, as well as policy HS3, housing mix, and objection to all of those. His is missing as well. Okay, we're nearly there, we're nearly done all of them. It's taken a long time. Right, Mr. and Mrs. Ian and Elaine Firstland, 12919. Tara Hallett, 16311, no results found, totally missing. Mr. W. Harris, 15425, nothing, completely not there. RB and PM Harwood, ID 5858, absolutely missing. Mr. Gareth Hawkins, 15264. He wrote many more than that. That's why I highlighted it as red. But they've only listed one, which was the 30th of November 2016. He was very busy and he absolutely did not put only things in back in those days. So that's no attachments are also provided. So that's a big problem. That needs sorting. Oh, it's too late to sort it actually now. It hasn't been sorted, I think is what I mean to say. Right, we've got nothing for 12919. That's Mr. and Mrs. Elaine and Mr. and Mrs. Ian and Elaine Firstland, who are objecting against SP2 settlement hierarchy. Mrs. Diana Hayward, 14153. Mr. and Mrs. Ivan and Gillian L. Hext. Mr. and Mrs. Steve and Lisa Hilborn, 3423. Historic England, 16305. No results found. That's pretty terrible because Historic England is a statutory consultee. So that's totally unacceptable. That's 16305. In fact, I'm going to highlight that as red because that's really bad. Really bad, right? Statutory, yeah, actually, statutory. Right, Mr. M. Holford and others, 16166. First one opens. Second one is the issue. Okay, so nothing for reference 14153. That was for Mrs. Diana Hayward, who was objecting against SP 16 site NS1 north of Stevenage, as well as SP 8 housing. Okay, that's that. Then we've also got another error message for 6909. That's for Mr. and Mrs. Ivan and Gillian L. Hex, HT2, land north of Pound Farm. That's what they were objecting to. We have another error message for 3423. That was for Mr. and Mrs. Stephen Lisa Hilborn. They were objecting to policy SP 16 in the site NS1 North Stevenage, as well as SP 8 housing. And we also have another error message for 16166. The second thing that they were Mr. M. Holford and others they were objecting against SP 8, which was housing, and SP 5, which was countryside and Greenvale, as well as objecting against IC2, Burford Grange, Bedford Road. Mr. Robert Howard, 8315. Mrs. Charlotte Hume, 6996. So that one from 2019 opens. This one, however, does not. Okay, we'll leave that going. Mr. and Mrs. Chris and Jill Langley. Claire Larson, 15393. No results found. This all together. Thomas Lazarou, 14120. This all together. David Lindsley, 888. Nothing. Letchwood Garden City Heritage Foundation, 9861. I have numerous. Let me just check which one was the problem. Missing error representation form LTC1. Okay, that one. Yes. Okay, that's confirmed as not there. Yes. Okay, so that was for the Heritage Foundation. Now we've also got the results there. Okay, we've got an error message for 11805. That was for Mr. and Mrs. Chris and Jill Langley. They were objecting to HT5, land at junction of Grays Lane and Lucas Lane, as well as HT6, land at junction of Grays Lane and Crow Furlong, and policy SP8 housing. We also have a public access error now for 6966, the earlier regulation 2016 objection, which was put in by Mrs. Charlotte Hume, who was objecting against SP2 land between Hornhill and Bendish Lane, Woodwell. And we have another public access error for 8315. and that was from Mr. Robert Howard, who was objecting against WY1 land south of Little Wymondley. Right, continuing. Mr. Michael Lott, 6971. William Marshall, 16303. No results, nothing. Completely absent. Kerry Masters, 16325. Nothing. Mr. and Mrs. C. Millington Horay, 16142. Donna Meir, 7136. That's odd. That appears to right. Let's see what's happening. Why is that? Okay, so that has been included. So we'll highlight that pink. Mr. Reg F. Morgan, 3436. Right, now 5 appears, but 2 were missing from 2019. Let's find out which ones they are. So the second one opens, that's all right. All right, now this one opens, let's find out. Okay. This one opens. And this one now opens. I'll just check the first one just in case. So they've rectified those because they were the first ones we noticed and we told them about those. Okay. So that's now been rectified. Just go back to you. Okay, so we've got an error message, however, for 16142. Mr. and Mrs. C. Millington Horay. That's for IC, it's an objection for IC1 land at Duncott's Close and objection to IC2 Burford Grange, Bedford Road, and IC3 land at Bedford Road, and LS1 land at Bedford Road. We also have another message error for 6971. That's for Mr. Michael Lott, who was objecting against HT2 land north of Pound Farm. Mr. Robert Parker, 13698. Amanda Pickett, nothing. See all together. Mrs. Ronald Pieters, 13593. Oh. It's a strange name. I don't actually know. Mr. Marcus Powell, apparently 2 appears missing. which ones, not that one. It's like the second two. So number 2 and 3. Mr. Neil Ross. All right, so the error message is served for 13698. That's Mr. Robert Parker. We have a support this time, it's unusual. So that's policy SP2, settlement hierarchy, policy ST2, affordable housing, and policy SH, sorry, H, did I say SH? HS, I mean, sorry, SP2, settlement hierarchy, policy HS2, affordable housing, policy HS5, accessible and adaptable housing. Okay, so that's this. We have another error message for 13593. That is for Mrs. Ronald Pietersay. Foreign name. Policy S as an objection 1, policy SP18, site GA2, land off Mendip Way, Great Ashby, and also against GA1, land at Roundwood, Gravely Parish. All right, so there's missing for the lot 7003, Mr. Marcus Powell, who was objecting against policy SB1, sustainable development in North Hertfordshire. Okay. As well as the other one. So there were two here, as I noted on the spreadsheet. Didn't open. Then we have nothing opening for 12570, who was Mr. Neil Ross, objecting to TH1 land at Police Row. Nearly there. We've done a whole lot. It's amazing. It's taken months. Right, Mrs. Roundtree, ID 1260. Nothing. Save the World's First Garden City, 16015, missing from 2020. All right, so the one from 2020, let me just check, there's quite a lot here. The one that was missing was the local plan main model. So 31/1/20 local plan modifications representations. There aren't. It's gone. Oh, hang on, because it's on the next page. Ah, here's this one. Okay. The ones for the representations. Okay, so that's now opening. Let's just check there's nothing else. I'm going to check all of them actually. Right, opens. Open. Okay, so that's fine. On that one, Rumble Sedgwick 15347. Oh wow, he's got so many. Let's check which one it was. It was from 2016. Okay, so we'll end up with this one. It's now opening. Okay, just check the other one. Oh, it appears to be the earlier one that doesn't open. The older one. Okay. So that's fine. That was okay. Okay, so the one that's not open is the more recent one, 2019. And that's called local plan modifications 28 on 2019. So what's the date? I forget now. 28. One. So that's the one that's missing. So that's missing for 15347. Rumble Sedgwick, who was objecting against Section 1, Introduction and Context, also was objecting against Policy SP1, Sustainable Development in North Hertfordshire, Policy SP2, Hierarchy Settlement, objection against HS1, Local Housing Allocations, Policy SP8, Housing, Policy SP7, Infrastructure Requirements and Developer Contributions, Policy ETC1, Appropriate Uses in Employment Areas, Policy ETC2, Employment Development outside of employment areas, and Policy ETC3, New Retail, Leisure and Other Main Town Centres Development, Policy ETC4, Primary Shopping Frontages, and quite a lot more. Policy. Okay, I'm not going to read them all. I'm just going to display them. Okay, because this could be really long. If anybody wants to see them in the future, they'll be able to pause the video and list them down. But I can't. I'm going to read all of those. It's generally everything. All objections. Yeah. And the last one, archaeology. Okay, so that was for that person. Right, moving on, Mr. Stephen Selleck, 8998. No results found at all. Mr. John Shambrook, 16302. No, a blank. Mr. R.J. Sims, 8691. Pamela J. Skeggs, 6813. No. So they're all no-goes. Stevenage Road Petition Group 16181 in 2016. First one opens, and the second one does not. Mr. David Switzer, 10581. Mrs. H. M. Ford, 6923. Mr. John Thorpe, 16026. Nothing. Mr. Alex, actually, I just want to double check. So close out this time. I just want to go back and double check that other guy just before the Mr. John Thorpe, just to make sure I got the right one. No, okay, I did get the right one. Nothing available. Okay, Mr. Alex Turner. All right, so we've got things listed. Okay, so that one we're okay. Mr. Alex Turner, we will change to pink. Right, we have web server missing for missing 6923. That's objection from Mrs. M.H. Thorne, local HT2 land north of Pound Farm. And we also have another error message for 10581. That was from Mr. David Switzer, who was objecting to LG6 land off Radburn Way. And then we have again nothing for doesn't open 16181 for the Stevenage Road Petition Group, their second one, as I noted on the spreadsheet. They were objecting to kitchen. That's the second one then. Okay, carrying on, we're nearly there. Kate Turner, 16420. Little blank. And Dr. John Webb, the second and the third on his are apparently missing. Let's find out if that's still the case. Second and third one. And that one. However, the first one is supposed to open, which it does. Okay, so there we have it. So those two are the problem ones. And they're not loading. With that, and we'll go to the last one. Mr. Andrew Wheeler from 2017. All right, so we've got those just doing their thing. Let's just wait patiently now. The messages to display to conclusively prove that they're not there. Okay, so the first one is the error message, and that's the other error message for those two from 2016 at Regulation 19 stage in support of spatial vision. And against objection against SP 15 site LG1 North Letchworth Garden City, and an objection against section 1 introduction and context by Dr. John Webb. 14748. The last one, public error access, nothing, for 16128. A letter of support from Mr. Andrew Wheeler, AS1 land west of Taybush Road. Okay, so that ends the check on that, leading us to conclude that 1 was located, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 was, in the end, were located. And out of a total of initially 61 missing. So that means we can change that figure to 56. Objections against mixed various sites are still missing. Okay, that's it then. I shall stop sharing and conclude this.